tired,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided to take her to the vet. Her vet, Mr. Smith, had lots of researches about felines. When I was driving, I pointed out that it remained only 10 minutes to our appointment.
Okay. When I was driving, I realized I only had 10 minutes remaining. I
I
realized
realized.
I realized I only had 10 minutes remaining to get
10 minutes
to the appointment.
to get to the
Appointment.
appointment.
Now,
Okay.
Ezra, there are many ways to say remaining. This is just the correct way for this particular sentence.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I made a big mistake and I passed at the red light. It was the first time I broke a traffic rule.
Okay.
Suddenly,
I went through a traffic light. You didn't pass
I
a
went through.
I went through.
I went. Okay. I went through at the traffic light. It was the first time I broke a traffic rule. Suddenly, a police officer signed me, and I stopped the car.
A
He
police
told me,
a police officer signaled you. A police officer
say,
signaled.
signaled me. Yes, he signaled me, and I stopped the car. Okay, and he told me to pay attention at the traffic lights.
Mhm. To pay attention to the traffic light.
To pay attention to the traffic lights. He also wanted me to pay a fine.
Mhm.
Fine, yeah. Then I paid it cash because I didn't have my credit card with me.
I paid it by cash.
I paid it by cash. I paid it by
I paid it with cash.
with cash. Okay. Because I didn't have my credit card with me.
Mhm.
After we got to the vet's office, he examined Lucy and he said that my little Lucy was pregnant. And I felt very happy. I believe that we are going to be a big family and we are going to be have lots of good time together with Kita.
Okay,
This
good.
is my story.
Okay, that sounds great. Now, just a point of information. When we get a traffic ticket and we're stopped by the police officer, we don't pay the fine at that moment. We go to court. Is it different for you?
Yes,
You
we
pay
paid cash
right
in
then
Turkey.
to the police officer? You give the money to the police officer?
Uh, just a minute. I never had had a problem like this. Okay.
Okay.
I drive car and I also obeyed all rules. So I never had like this problem. So I am not sure about this.
I
Okay.
see. All right. All right. Well, the sentence structure is now correct. I was just thinking about the process. The process here, if we are stopped by the police officer and we're given a
Okay.
ticket, which is a fine, we go to court or
We
we
go to
or, or we can mail the money in, but we never give the money to the person. We never give
of course.
money.
Okay. 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 That's the point. I'm sorry. Yes.
No, it may be different. It may be different in your country. All right. Now,
No, in our country it is same as you. Okay, but I just think about like this maybe because I never had a problem like this.
I understand. Now,
Mhm.
there were many instances where you had ahs, ah, ah,
Yes, yes, here.
Okay.
I said,
Now
sorry.
let me listen. Listen. Hold on. Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Every time you say I'm going to keep talking. I just want you to be aware that you're saying it. Okay? Tell it to me again.
Okay. May I
From
tell
the
the story again?
from the beginning.
From the beginning. Okay. Last week, I had a problem with my cat Lucy. She didn't want to play her toys anymore. Even she didn't have her lunch. And I didn't know what to make of her behavior. She looked so tired, and I decided to take the Lucy to the vet. Her vet, Mr. Smith, had lots of researches about felines. When I was driving, I realized I only had 10 minutes remaining to get to appointment. I made a big mistake and I went through at the red light. It was the first time I broke a traffic rule. Suddenly, a police officer signed me
Signaled
and
me.
I
Signaled.
signaled me and I stopped the car. He told me to pay attention to the traffic lights. He also wanted me to pay a fine and he gave me a ticket. Then I went to the court and I want to pay it with cash because I didn't have my credit card with me. Okay?
Mhm.
After we got to the vet's office, he examined Lucy and he said that my little Lucy was pregnant. I felt very happy and I believe that we are going to be a big family and we are going to have the good time together with children.
Okay. Much better. And I
Is
only
that
hit
okay?
much better. And I only hit the table just once. So this is what I
Okay.
think I heard you say, not necessarily word for word, but just the other day, I noticed that my cat Lucy was not eating her food. She didn't even want to play with her toys anymore. I decided to take Lucy to the vet. I made a big mistake. I went through a traffic light and the police officer signaled me to pull over. I
Pull
stopped
over.
the car and he told me to pay attention to the traffic lights. I realized I only had 10 minutes remaining for my vet's appointment.
Mhm.
I asked the police officer if I could pay the fine, and I realized I didn't have my checkbook, so I paid in cash. I went to the vet, and I was so happy. The vet told me that my Lucy was pregnant, and she's going to have some kittens. This made me feel so happy because we are going to have a big family. Okay,
Mhm.
something like that. That's pretty much what I could remember. I don't necessarily know that I use your phrasal verbs or your collocations. I did use them collocations made of, um, but you get the idea. But again,
Okay. Have a problem made of.
okay, have a problem and made of. Good.
Mhm.
And the scenario,
Made of.
and
Have lunch.
what is the scenario? Was it that you got a ticket or you were taking Lucy to the vet? What was the scenario?
The scenario is the taking Lucy to the vet.
Okay, so you didn't really tell me I don't think you pointed out that that was the scenario, or was the scenario that you got a ticket from the police officer. All right, very good. Yeah, that was good. Continue practicing just many of the various things that we've done. I'm going to stop recording now, and I'll post this in our Facebook page. Stop recording.